Hello to the Modern Salon community. My name is Kate Curran. I am a Redken artist, and we are here today at the Redken Exchange in Redken Studio 404, where we film a lot of amazing content. And I stepped out of my class that I'm here teaching this week, Color and Know Why, so that I could share some tips with you on balayage. Now, I know, and we all know, that balayage is everything right now, right? Are you with me? So it's so important that we know how to attack it and have sort of a roadmap for ourselves when we are approaching a balayage technique. So today, our product of choice is going to be Flash Lift Bonder Inside. Now this is the Flash Lift that we know and love and have loved for years. We get 8 levels of lift out of Flash Lift, and this actually has our bonding agent built right into it. So how amazing is that? And then we're mixing it in a 1 to 1.5 ratio with 20 volume Pro Oxide. So big hot tip, when you go to mix your powder and your developer together, take a whisk, and we're actually going to start mixing it together and count to 45 when you're mixing it. Why, you ask, right? Has anyone ever mixed their product together, turned away, and then you dip back into it and it feels like cement all of a sudden? So to avoid that, what we're gonna do is we're gonna mix for 45 seconds to really whip a lot of air into it, aerate it, and you'll have the perfect consistency for your whole application. So like I said, we're going to be balayaging today. And one thing that I've been switching up lately is the angle or the direction of my subsection. So back in the day, I would do a lot of this backward diagonal, right? Because we know that we're using a diagonal line for softness, right? Vertical lines lengthen, horizontal lines widen a shape, but diagonal lines will create softness and round out a shape. So knowing that we're doing balayage and we want to create something soft and natural, we go for our diagonal shape. So in the beginning of my life as a balayage colorist, I would do this backward diagonal just because it felt natural. What I've learned recently is that if I take that diagonal and just flip it, right? So now it's a forward diagonal, it's actually going to give me more of the look that I'm trying to get out of my balayage, where color is spilling towards the face because that forward diagonal is pushing the color forward, right? So now I've got my subsection, and I'll come in here and I will create a V section. So you can see that V section is going to give me a nice surface to paint on. When we think of balayage, let's think of surface painting. We don't necessarily need to get saturation all the way through. We're just going to be painting on the top until we get to the ends, and that's where we get our full saturation. So now I've got my section. See, there's a little static here. No fear. I brought some Fashion Works to the party with me. So Fashion Works 12, it's a really light working spray. So I'm just gonna give a nice little spray and then grab my comb, my Sam Via tail comb, never without it. And now we've got a little more control on that section. I'm actually gonna give it one more spray here. And maybe just run my comb over it. Now I've got a nice surface to work on. So now I'm gonna load my product onto my brush. Notice that I'm just loading the product onto one side of the brush, and that's the side of the brush that I'll be painting on the surface with. So when I come into balayage, I am going to be applying product just to the center of my section. Now, anytime I come back to the bowl to grab a little more color, we always come back to the middle of the section, and this will become like a reservoir of your product, where you can then take that product and start to move it up the sides of your section to create your point of light. So what is a point of light, right? Points of light are what will become our beautiful pieces of dimension, and we can create different points of light within the hair in our balayage. Now, V points of light are really the most classic, right? Because we'll get that nice distribution of color, great points of dimension. Now notice when we come in and look at this, do we have color on the back? No, because we're just painting the surface, right? So balayage is surface painting, and then we'll come into our full saturation. And the way that I get my full saturation is I'm actually going to apply some product to the back of my hand. Now this is my reservoir, right? So make sure you have a good bit, not crazy. We don't want to get too crazy with it so that it's going everywhere. Keep it controlled, right? So keep it in between your knuckles and your wrist so that we keep it clean. Now I'm going to grab my section and I'll take my brush, place it under this section so I have control of it. And then I'll come in with my hand underneath and then very gently, no pressure, right? I'm actually not putting any pressure on that section, but I'm just gliding the hair through to get my saturation, even saturation on the top and bottom. Now notice, am I going over it a bunch of times? Yeah, absolutely. So making sure that we get that really nice even saturation and full saturation through the ends. Now, also, I want you guys to notice, am I lifting that section up? Yeah, we're elevating it because we know that when we're cutting hair, if we want to create something that's soft, right, we pick hair up so to cut it to create a really soft blend, right? Same thing, same principle applies to color. If I want to get a soft blend, I'm going to elevate it, or I could even over direct, right? I could pull it front, right? So if I pull it towards the front and over direct that color, I might get a little more color spilling back towards the back, right? So knowing that we're going to elevate to create our softness, and then if you look at the back side, you can see what a nice soft blend there is there. So now I'm going to take a piece of cotton that I've pre-cut. So this is another hot tip, you guys. Pre-cut your pieces of cotton with scissors. Don't rip them because you'll get a cleaner, easier piece of cotton to work with. It'll be much easier to take out of the hair. I also went ahead and just rolled it in my hands so that it really stays together. We kind of roll it like that. And then now it's going to be so much easier to take out. So I'm going to take my cotton and place it in the hair so that it stays, and that's just going to isolate it. So this processes at room temperature, right? So open air, room temperature. We have, a plethora of beautiful lightning products that you can work with. Like I said, we're using Flash Lift Bonder inside today. I love that it has the bonding element already built into the product. So let's talk about the saturation. Notice that this saturation is pretty heavy, right? You can see the product. And the best thing about it is that the saturation doesn't change from roots to ends. We have full saturation. That means we're gonna get the same level of lightening happening from zone 1 or your root area all the way down to zone 3 or your ends, right? So then we don't have to create 3 different glaze formulas at the end because we're dealing with different levels of lightness. If we get the same level of lightness throughout, then we really have, like the power to create whatever we want with that. So once you've gone ahead and lightened your model, we're gonna send them home with color care, right? So we have some amazing products within our portfolio. We have this brand new product, Redken Brown Lights. So this is for your brunette balayage clients, and it's got blue tones in it so that it will keep their hair looking that perfect, beautiful, balanced, right, natural vibe that we're looking for. And then we also have our blondage, Color Extend Blondage. This is for your lighter blondes because we're working with our violet tones. So in everything that we're thinking about the color wheel, right? And what tones do we need to maximize the tone that we're looking for? So we're utilizing our blue and our violet. So this is a really great thing to send our clients home with. So I hope that this has been helpful. I'd love to see you guys again. Visit me on my Instagram at Hair by Kate C. And thank you, Modern Salon. Have a great day.
Hi, my name is Lauren Hagan, Redken Director of Education, and today I want to share with you an incredible tip when texturizing the hair. Now, before we get into the fun of texturizing the hair, let's just talk about shape in general. I think it's so important as a hairdresser to really understand when we're creating shape, it's all about the elevation. It's all about what? You got it, the elevation. So let's remember, when we're elevating hair, we create layers. Thinking about what type of shape we want to create all comes from the degree of elevation. If I elevate hair at or below the horizontal line in 90 degrees, I will always get a straight line in my silhouette. The moment I take that hair and elevate it above the horizontal line in 90 degrees, my shape now will concave in and give me a curved line that curves inward. Why this information is important is our clients always bring us pictures, whether it's a magazine, Pinterest, Instagram. And I know for myself as a stylist, the first thing I want to do is start picking up hair and layering it. Here's what I'm going to suggest. Take a step back, look at the shape, analyze it. Ask yourself, what kind of line am I seeing in the shape? If I see a straight line, I know as a hairdresser, my elevation needs to be at or below the horizontal 90. If I see a curved line that curves inward, I know that I need to elevate the hair above the horizontal line in 90. Now, what happens if we see a curved line that curves all the way down to the perimeter? Easy. Take that hair, elevate it above the horizontal line in 90 degrees, and actually wrap and lay it on top of the head and cut it on the opposite side. This will give you a beautiful curved line that curves outward. If you want to dive more into this information, because I just gave you a snippet, make sure that you sign up for Cut and Know Why. It's our fundamental principle-based program here at the Redken Exchange. So now let's get into a little bit of texturizing that we understand principles a little bit more. If I have a client that I want to just remove a little bit of bulk in the hair, I'm going to show you a great way to do that. I love working with my Sam Villa Artist Series Texturizing Scissors. Why? They have just enough teeth to take out enough hair, but not too much to take it all away. So here's the hot tip. Wherever you want to create more movement in the hair, simply take that section of hair. You're going to work with your texturizing shears, teeth on top. You're going to insert the shear diagonally and close. Open, slide down the strand a little bit and close. Open, slide down the strand a little bit and close. Here's the hot tip. Get that hair out of the way so you don't over texturize it. Hairdressers, we over texturize hair for no reason. Here we go. Open, close, open, close, open, close. Remove the hair. Open, close, open, close, open, close. So think about when you weave hair for a highlight, it's that same concept. Now, as I brush this through, you'll notice that just in that one little area, the hair dances just a little bit more. Gives us just a little bit more movement and a little bit easier styling for the client. Make sure that you follow me at Lauren_Hagan to find and follow more tips. Can't wait to see you here at the Redken Exchange. Head to Redken Salon and sign up for your next class.
Hey everyone, I am Mandy McCullough, a facilitator of Cut and Know Why here at the Redken Exchange in New York. And I love cutting, and I want to share with you one hot tip that we talk about at Cut and Know Why, that it's simple as it is, with 2 combs, can change the way that you have accuracy in cutting a straight line with hair. So here's the tip. How many of you, when you start working with a mannequin head, tend to go into 4 quadrants with that head, right? Now you can see I have more than just 4 quadrants. There's actually 8 bevels, what we call, in this head shape. Here's the secret to it. When we talk about head form and the principle of head form, we want you to master what you're doing with this. So rather than just going into the 4 quadrants, what we want to do is take it into even smaller bites. With smaller bites, you have more control over what you're doing. Here's where the 2 combs come in. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my comb and I'm going to place it to find the high point of the head, right? How many of you are doing this in the salon? I bet a lot of you are. From there, we know how to take a section and go from center front, high point of the head, to center back. And you can see that's the first line of sectioning we made through the mannequin head. Then I'm going to separate the front from the back. So again, comb, high point of the head. Now I can go from ear to ear. And notice it's at the top of the ear where we do this section. Now, the value of using the comb is that every head shape's different, right? And we don't want to go on automatic pilot. It needs to be personalized to the client in your chair. That's the value of this comb. Now, once you have it in 4 quadrants, the next thing we want to do is take it into smaller bites. This is where the real control of getting that perimeter line is going to come in. So now I'm going to take 2 combs and I'm going to start in the back. So let me turn that around for you. I'm going to place 1 comb flat to the side of the head, and then I'm going to place another comb straight to the back. Now, the easiest way to see this is when we look from the top. So can we get that camera to come straight from the top of the head? And you can see how I'm creating a 90-degree angle from the back of the head to the side. Where those 2 combs come in to create a 90-degree angle, that's going to be back corner. Now I'm making smaller bites to have more control. Once I've completed one side, I'll do the same on the other side. So 1 comb goes to the back of the head. The other comb goes to the side. 90-degree angle. Now I can create another line. As I come into the front, we can do the same thing. Side, front, here's a corner. And then same thing, side, front, here's my other corner. And from looking at the top, I see where that line is. Now what we've done is created sections that are to the head form, smaller bites. So when I cut the perimeter, when I drop this section into the perimeter and cut it, a smaller bite that's going to connect to give me the straight line. I know before I did this, I had a lot of times where I get one side longer than the other one. Anyone else? So when I learned how to cut it into smaller bites with vertical breakdown of the head shape, I was working in smaller areas, and now I can start cutting my perimeter anywhere within the head shape when I drop these, because it's exactly where the hair lives to give me more control. This is just one of the things we share at Cut and OI here at the Redken Exchange. We would love to see you here, but always for more education, be sure to visit redkensalon.com and follow me, Fancy Finish, on Instagram. We'll see you soon.